Hello, Combat Connectors, and welcome to the Day Class podcast. You're here with Luca, Low, and Beast King. Now, we've had our two most popular videos since we've started this channel were women's self-defense moves, and they were all absolutely god-awful. So, today I'm going to switch things up on us a little bit, and I think we should review some self-defense stuff by some more respected people that's actually meant to be good and see if we can pull anything from that, criticize it to make it better, or see, yeah, that actually works and people aren't going to die.
Sounds good.
Sounds like a good plan.
Share screen.
Also, is that what we're calling them now?
I think it makes sense.
You know, we need Masa here. That way we can call each other the Connect Four.
God damn. Okay.
It'd be worth it.
Now I'm going to start us off with a few people's absolute favorite in the terms of martial arts and self-defense. Master Wong. This is 5 self-defense moves that everyone should know. And children, if you're in the audience, leave.
On this one here, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about 5 basic self-defense moves any Tom, Dick, and Harry can do to able to save your ass if you get yourself there. Let me show
Who
you the
says
basic.
that anymore?
Who does what?
Like Tom, Dick, and Harry. That is such a
It's a thing in here. Don't forget he's over here in England.
That's a thing here in the South.
Yeah, I mean it is a fairly old saying. Yeah, I don't hear many people saying it, but it's not uncommon to say every Tom, Dick, and Harry can do this.
I do have a question though. Is that Master Wong's real accent, or is he trying to force this?
I think it's a real accent because I think he was born in China. No, I don't know. I think he moved to Thailand. I don't remember. He was born somewhere, moved somewhere, and then came to England. And he's been here for, I think he's been here for 40 years. So he was like 10 when he moved.
Huh. All right, I was just curious.
Yeah.
One here so you know. Somebody punched me in the face. So punch me in the face, boom, straight to the eye. Very
Okay. That first one, what are you thinking?
That was a little fast. I didn't quite see it.
It's not too terribly bad. I like how he's getting on the dead side of the body instead of the live side.
Yeah. So let's play this back again. It's
I like how he's using his rear arm to assist for the parry.
Yeah, I mean he's pretty much just rotating his hips and doing what? He's literally just going over it really, and then hitting him in the eye. And then I think what is he doing with that backhand when he's going in for that?
He's parrying. Look where the rear arm goes. He's actually using that to almost guide the wrist.
Yeah, I'm gonna slow it down. I don't think he parried. I think he just used that one hand and stepped off and
watch his right arm the whole way.
Okay.
His hand's making contact with the wrist.
So punch me in the face, boom, straight to that.
Yeah, I suppose he did.
Yeah, that is a parry. Yeah.
So if he's right there, he's got a lot of options from right there. I can't say anything too terribly bad about this. I like how he's going to the dead side. I like how he's kind of working what we will call the diminishing fighter. Diminishing fighter works off of if you're inflicting pain or blinding your opponent. Obviously, they're not going to be able to fight at full capacity. So I like how he's applying that while keeping his hands in a relative position for a guard, getting to the dead side. So I can't really critique that too much.
It's what we do every time we're going for a grapple. The first thing we have to do is whip them in the eyes or something to basically throw them off as we're throwing them or locking them.
The only thing I would really change, the only thing I'd really kind of change is that rear arm instead of just making contact with the wrist. I'd like to see him actually bridge the gap. So actually make connection, get a decent grip, because that arm right there, that's a very useful pivot tool. That's the only change I'd see. But that's just coming from a grappler. I think that's not too bad at all.
Yeah, I think he could very easily use a Paxal to control that arm while and pull him off balance to get more of an impact with the eye strike if he.
Well, you're a Wing Chun guy. His left arm right there. If he were to throw a bong sao actually going over the arm while maintaining his right arm taking control of the wrist and then turn his hips away, you've got pretty much the same exact setup for like what a lot of people would do if you train sport grappling to do like a flying armbar. Of course, he's not going to do a flying armbar, but if you torque the hips in it enough, you can actually pull them off balance, then maybe do like a Tayatoshi or even a Hizaguruma.
If I was from there, what I would try and probably like do an arm drag or sweep out the back of their leg while I have their arm. Use a Udijuji maybe.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad at all.
Okay, continue.
I think it's a relative position that gives you a lot of options from it.
Maybe a little bit fast for every Tom, Dick, and Harry to be able to do it.
Yeah, I'd say it's a little on the speedy side. You definitely got to know what you're going to do before you do it in that instance.
No, I don't think you have to know. I think it's something that I've done just in sparring before, very similar. Just knock the arm down while I punch him in the face and go on the side. I don't think you need to have it planned. I just think it's something that comes with training something like Wing Chun that has a lot of parrying and arm control.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we do have some parries for Sanda and things like that. It's just usually that's something I'd say you probably need to be like, oh, he's going to come in with this side, so I should probably do that.
Maybe.
Straightforward. So let's go slowly. So he punch, bang like that. So straight to his eyeball. No more eye left. Meaning, no more pretty girl for you.
A lot of people don't like the spear hand as well, but I think that's viable.
Well, the main thing to remember for spear hands are the best explanation I've been able to give people is if you're using a soft part of your body, strike something hard. If you're using a hard part of your body, strike something soft. So your fingertips, there's not too much give unless you start having damage inflicted on yourself. The eyes, they're fairly soft. So you're putting something hard against something soft. If you're using your fist and you hit, say, the cranium, you're probably going to break your hand. Instead of using your fist to the cranium, go to something that's a lot softer. So spear hands in that sense, I think, can be very useful.
Yeah. It's one
I'm
of
not going to sit here and try to spear hand someone in the pecs because I've conditioned for it, but I'm not going to sit here and do this because I kind of like having use of my fingers.
It's one of the maxims, the yin yang principle must be understood and applied.
If you got a nice woman, you get a mess up eye. Problem. So I punch with this side.
And that's the real reason everyone watches Master Wong's self-defense.
Yeah, he always does have the best commentary.
No more pretty girl for you because you got a mess up eye.
Yeah, some people can rock the eye patch.
On the eye. That first one. Second one you can't do if somebody hook me. So when it comes to hook, boom like that to the body. The hook side you can see, boom like that to the body. Okay.
I mean, covering up is one of the first things that anyone is ever told to do, I feel.
Yeah, just covering and throwing a straight line shot. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, you could just get a grab and turn, Tayatoshi, Okigoshi, Ogoshi, whatever you want. Hell, you can go for Seonage from right there. So it gives you plenty of options. I don't see anything that you can say is deliberately wrong with covering and punching someone.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never really been a fan of covering up in that specific way, though, just because it has you blend down a little bit, so you're easier to grapple. But I get it. I mean, it covers the most stuff. And
well, like that, we call that answering the phone because it looks like you're pulling your hand to your ear to answer the phone.
We call it brushing over your hair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Technically, we call that age uchi uke.
Hakheim actually calls that wrapping the turban because he says it looks like you're wrapping something around your head. We call it just answering the phone. I teach it a lot for kids who are being bullied in school because you're not going to have talented fighters in elementary school. But if they sit there and they just cover up, they're not having damage inflicted on them, and they throw a good body shot, or they're able to throw the kid to the ground. It tends to work out fairly well for them.
But
I think that's pretty good.
How are you throwing body shots? You do karate. Body shots have been lost in karate.
Really? Say that to every hand kata ever.
Say that to Jesse Yank.
Say that to every Pinan kata forever.
Okay, let's go back.
And then follow up the attack.
Oh,
so the very base.
Nice follow up there, like the grab and pull down.
So the hook coming in, you can go boom like this, straight in that hook this side, boom like this, hook this side, and boom like this. That can be done. Okay. If you want to follow up to do that to attack, That can be done. Or if you want to do this kind of movement, boom like this, and straight your elbow there to hurt him. Or you can go like hook him. So boom like this, straight elbow come into that, and then follow up.
That's not my preference for an Mpiuchi.
So then what?
That's not my preference for Mpiuchi. That's not what I would. That's not how I would apply the elbow in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's definitely a unique way of doing that. I mean, even like doing Muay Thai prior to Sando, I never really saw anybody use it quite like that.
Well, those like
Like,
sort
I've
of
seen it-
straight
I've seen it
forward
done like
lunging
that.
elbows are more like they're more used in like Baji Chuan than they are in like Muay Thai.
So like I can see the use for it,
Mm.
and I'm a fan of straight line elbows. I like doing that if I'm clenching up, retaining the hand on the neck while throwing an elbow to like the solar plexus or xiphoid. I'm a fan of that. But in that situation, I don't really prefer that. I much prefer to actually do almost like a drop shot, pairing my forearm to the ground, almost like I'm doing a bong sao,
Yeah.
because it'll allow you to turn, get a whatever grab you want, and then of course make them bounce off the planet.
So you're saying more like a 3 to 6 elbow than straightforward.
No, it's still straight line.
Okay.
Think a straight line, almost like you're doing hikite whenever you throw a punch. You pull the elbow back behind you. Do that, but go to the front, almost like you're doing a bong sao.
Yeah, I get what you mean now.
Yep. But that's just personal preference.
Definitely. But I mean, this isn't bad, and I think one thing he gets a lot of criticism because some of his stuff's a bit batshit crazy. But I think one thing you can always say that he does well in his videos is that he always emphasizes that you can follow through and you can just keep hitting them, just again and again and again to the point where you get slightly concerned.
See, like that's the
Honestly, yeah.
See, I really agree with that. I think that's a good thing you can find about him. The biggest issue I have with most martial artists when they're teaching anything for self-defense or anything for hell, I'll even use point fighting as an example. You know, I'm not a big advocate for point fighting.
Mm.
People tend to want to stick with what I call a one and done.
Yeah.
They think you're going to be able to hit them one time and that's going to end the situation. If you train to just hit them one time and then stop, you're training for failure. Because remember, more sweat and peace means less blood and war. You
And that's
fight like
one
you
thing.
you train like you fight. If you're sitting there training just to throw one technique, what's going to happen to you if you throw that one technique and it doesn't immediately stop the threat?
That's something I remember your debate with Cool Geek about judo, Japanese jiu-jitsu, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. One thing that a lot of Japanese jiu-jitsu does that Brazilian jiu-jitsu doesn't, that you can say it has something up on it, is Japanese jiu-jitsu will normally do like 3 different things and get you to tap like 2 or 3 times before they let you go, rather than tap and you're done.
I think the only time that BJJ, at least in my experience, wants to sit there and do multiple taps is if they're just doing a flow drill or flow rolling. Japanese jiu-jitsu, even whenever you're doing just like just a standard drill, you're wanting for jujigatami. As soon as you get your jujigatami, you're thinking, oh, what else can I do from here? Uregarami, gyaku uregarami, switch over to kagato jime. You've got these different options. They tend to push it more, whereas BJJ, I will say BJJ is a lot less militaristic in its training.
Definitely.
Due to the fact that BJJ is just, hey, make it work. And I can respect that. But at some point, you've got to learn, hey, what if that doesn't work? What if you're against someone who just benches your body weight and they're able to move you anywhere you want? You've got to be able to flow with them, be like water, go around whatever they're doing and then break whatever they give you.
Yeah.
That
Fair enough.
very basic and simple, not very hard at all on this kind of movement.
And that's another thing. He said these are things that everyone can do compared to Troom and freaking whatever that fake BuzzFeed thing we were watching was. This is fairly easy to remember things.
Yeah.
And one thing I can say so far is this is a lot less racist propaganda.
Yeah, I haven't seen any swastikas yet.
Yeah.
Because this kind of movement, sometimes, especially the hook, sometimes they come in very close. When coming out, very close. See, that will be attacking straight to there, and then now the follow up, and then you do the movement.
Even a bit of discussion about like how they can change range when they're coming in with it.
Easy to do.
Yeah, I don't see anything that you can necessarily say is just wrong with Master Wong for this.
Right, kick me in the nut. Kick me in the nut. Kick me in the boom like this. Straight to the kneecap here.
Okay, now something possibly not okay is like trying to physically block a kick, like with your hand.
Okay, so how do I say this without being just upsetting everyone? So
Since when
as a
did you
karate-
care about that?
Well, it's been a long day, dude. I just got home before we started this.
Yeah.
So for the viewers, my first love is karate, right? And what do you know about karate whenever you see it in the TV or on a movie or whatever else? You throw a kick, they're gonna block it out of the way and you're gonna get a hurt leg or whatever else. People see a lot more static blocking than what's actually supposed to be there. So when I say this, just know I'm saying it out of love. Don't put your hand in the way of something that's going to break your hand, if that means it. Because can you skip back just a hair to the block itself? Pause it as soon as he makes contact.
In a nut.
Ah, frick.
I was gonna say you might want to slow the frames down. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Beast. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional.
Keep it in a nut.
Okay, though.
So while he is parrying it,
Yeah.
there's always going to be that risk of, hey, shit's going to hit the fan. You know, anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Mm.
So your fingers, what do you know about them? They got a little bit of flex to them, right?
Yeah.
What happens if they get pushed too far back?
They hurt a lot.
They hurt a lot. You can get jammed fingers. You can get broken fingers. You can get a hurt hand, whatever else.
Mhm.
Why put your hand there in the first place? If someone's trying to kick you in the balls, use your leg. It's a bigger bone. Someone's trying to kick you in the balls, just move out of the way. What's the best block?
Yeah.
Don't be there.
And that's one thing I don't. A lot of martial arts do this, and at least for front kicks, I can say a little bit of leeway, just because a lot of people don't train kicks, and especially like the least of the things that people train in, like if they're coming to attack you in the street or something, you can normally get away with that. With a back kick, it's a little hard, like a round kick and stuff. But like, why not just kick it yourself? Especially like in Wing Chun, you have like the 10. I can't remember what we call the kick and like the actual word. It's just like the low front kick that we have. The whole point of that is to stop them coming forwards and doing stuff like this.
Oh yeah, it's like training Thai. Anytime someone goes to throw any leg kicks on me, most times people will just want to sit there and do like some standard static checking, or even kickoff checking, or even just flow throughs or riding the kick. You'd be surprised how much of a brain chart they'll have. They won't have the cognitive ability to actually think in the moment. If when they go to throw a leg kick, if you just take your foot and put it in their hip, take your foot and actually jam the kick.
Yeah.
That's Lowe's tip of the day for all of you Thai boxers. Start actually kicking the hip more. Start kicking above the knee just to keep the leg out of the way.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was talking about the oblique kick, by the way. I was trying to think of the Chinese name for it. I can't remember it, so let's just go with oblique kick.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't think of one either for that matter. Which, gotta say, like, as much as I think oblique kicks are definitely something for like a self-defense scenario type deal, like, I don't know why so many fucking competitions allow it. Like, honestly, being someone who has had knee problems, I just don't really see why give me competitions.
You know, Beast, I don't know how to say this, but grow a pair.
It's hard to grow a pair when you're in a fucking wheelchair.
It's called the Chum Q kick because it's from the Chum Q form. So
well, you're sitting there, you're saying, well, someone who has had knee injuries. Wow. I am so sorry about your knee. I wish I knew a little bit about what you're talking about.
No,
I mean,
Beast did injure his knee. Don't forget, he fell in class and tried to stand up, and his knee popped out sideways.
They said that was just his leg being flexible.
His
For those
knee
of you
is
that
so
don't
flexible
know,
it pops out of the joint.
Yeah,
I've
the
had some
joint was
somewhat invasive
flexible.
surgeries for my knee to repair it.
Like this. Straight to kneecap here.
I do like that follow through there where he's like taking. I do like taking out the back of the knee just as a good takedown. If you're
Oh, yeah.
offside like that, it can be pretty effective.
Oh yeah. It's a great way to actually do an Asotogari instead of actually reaping the leg. If you'll stomp straight through, you can use the back of the collar to kind of make their head bounce off the pavement a couple times.
It's actually the point of, the classical Wing Chun stance, the sheep stance, I think it's called, a ram stance, whatever, where the point is you bend your knees into the back of their knee when you get behind them to pull them down, you grab you get head control of the head and the neck.
The thrust of freedom?
I mean, sure, we can call it that.
Smack him in the face. So if you kick me in the nut like this here, and then straight away like this, straight away, bang, break that down to like that there. So you make sure you no more leg left. Okay, and then you can grab hold of him, you can elbow him here, you can smack him into the neck, you can.
He's advocating to fuck up someone's spine. He's like they want to kick you in the balls, cripple them, and I'm like, okay.
You know what we call that strike to the back of the head?
What?
The Gerber baby food strike. Because for the rest of your life, that's what you're going to be eating.
I was going to say, you pretty much already fucked them up with a goddamn oblique to the knee.
That's a basic one.
They're not getting up.
You can't do with this kind of movement here. Is when they start to whack my in the chest. So sometimes they get this kind of lot like this. What's going on?
Okay, this is. Everyone will always talk about in self-defense if they grab your wrist, and as much as I agree that's a thing that happens, this is far more common.
Yeah.
Yep. That and the wind up. Grab a single collar, wind up for the other hand.
There's a lot of ways to get out of this. Let's see what he decides on.
Punch me, boom, like this. Shot to the face again. This hand here.
Yeah, the video's not playing on my end.
It's a little choppy on this side.
Yeah, that's how it is for me.
Out, so you've got a thumb like this. So make sure this hand, yeah. This hand
here. But it's still moving it. We can make it work on my end, please.
Shot to the face again. This hand here. Pull the hand like this out, so you've got a thumb like this. So make sure this hand, yeah. Sometimes it's difficult to grab hold of this to move. So when the hook coming in, you go like this. Hurt him first, looking for the thumb, and then you break him like this.
Does it look a chop with an actor?
I think he's just saying slam him in the face. He's saying boom to the face. So I don't think he's hitting him in the neck. I think he's just like slapping him basically. Just.
Yeah, fair enough.
So this is going to be my first one that I just don't particularly agree with.
Mm-hmm.
This one's just not my favorite. My reasoning for this is there's too many moving parts.
A lot is too intricate.
Yeah, it's too intricate because you got to remember, KISS, keep it simple for stupid. In self-defense, you're going to be hopped up on adrenaline. You're not going to be thinking straight. You're going to be kind of panicking in the moment, and we can train as much as we want, but you're not going to be able to just react without panic. So the less moving parts, the better. I would prefer it instead of actually trying to get for the thumb. If he just kind of peeled the hand through like a crossing elbow, maybe to the side of the neck and did in the Sotogari, or someone's grabbing you on the collar, instead of panicking, try to actually drill. Oh, as soon as someone grabs your collar, start caving their face in.
Yeah, that's honestly pretty fair, I'd say.
No, I think an Asotogari is more complicated than just hit them in the face and grab their hand and pull it off.
That's the thing, though. Like, he's not saying just grab the hand and pull it off. He's saying rotate it, get the thumb locked, put your arm under their arm. From that same position, all an Asotogari would be is, hey, grab the hand, peel it without grabbing the thumb, which is what he's going intricate on, then take the other leg and just hook his leg and push him over it.
True. Our response for Shurenji Kempo would probably just be Yakugote.
No, you got to do Kinteki Gaeshi.
To be fair,
that works as well.
I was gonna say, to be fair, at that point, like shit, let him keep the fucking grapple if they want to. I'm just gonna keep bashing and bashing and bashing and bashing until I let go.
I think Jahakadori would also work in that situation.
Especially if you can just, I mean, you're legit in elbow room at that point. Just keep firing those off.
I think that kind of goes into excessive use of force. It can, like, if someone grabs you, you don't need to start trying to break their arm with like 10 elbows to elbow or
Oh
something.
yeah, it goes to the use of force continuum, dude.
I mean, that's fair. Fair enough. I mean, if they don't drop from the first one, though, which I mean, they probably would. Fucking elbow.
Now, let's see what he does with this sort of wraparound.
Like this, so the arm coming out. Very basic and simple, breaking the arm on that moment
That's
there.
kind of like
So,
Udajiji.
very simple. Let me show you slowly.
My issue with doing that from the front, if you can get around the backside and start leveraging the elbow, fine. If you're doing it around there, there's not a lot stopping him from coming at you.
I would prefer that to be done from a different position, just because, hey, you're not doing anything to keep him from caving your face in with his other arm.
Yeah.
Again. So what here? What is going on? Hope we come in.
What's that noise?
I don't know.
Very basic and simple.
It was like a moan.
You might get some time.
I don't know how you're hearing
that,
that, but okay.
Come along and they clap you like this, like that. So that you get a lot. So
First of freedom. There we go. This one we see a lot in self-defense situations. I think it's like normally I think they probably try and get under your arms so that you can't like do as much, but this happens especially in like multiple attacker situations. So let's see how he goes with this one.
I'm gonna be AFK for just a second.
Smack with his face to distract him first. Smack him to his leg, so everybody can smack somebody on the leg. It's very easy. Boom to the leg like this, very easy, and move back.
How does he do that?
Smack him to slap you like this,
He's
like that. So that you get a lot.
imitating a stomp.
Right? Smack with his face to.
So it's literally just like drop down so your arms are a little more free and just stamp him, and
Yeah,
pull
it's
yourself out.
You're going down, at least from what it looks like, headbutting and then a stomp.
I wouldn't headbutt. I don't like anything that tells you to headbutt with the back of your head. Like that's a very.
I mean, that is
soft area.
fair.
Can't
That's-
take a lot of hits.
That's what he's doing here, is what I'm saying.
But if he's
Probably
stamping out
not.
the ankles,
Yeah.
that works. I mean, sure.
Distract him first, smack him to his leg, so everybody can smack somebody on the leg. It's very easy. Boom to the leg like this, very easy, and move back, and then smack it to the nut here. So
Okay, Oshirage.
he won't be able to have no more kitty. So it's a problem. So let me show you that slowly.
It is a problem, yeah. He just kicked him in the
Very
balls.
simple. Smack from there.
To be fair, I wouldn't have thought of a groin kick from that situation. I would have just kind of
Smack him to his
I guess-
leg, to the leg here to make sure.
ran a little bit forward.
Move forward and then smack him to the nut like this.
I guess. I mean, they could grab your leg, but if you kick them in the balls, you kick them in the balls.
So I just got back for a second.
Yeah.
Is he saying that stomping the foot's immediately gonna get them to release?
He said
No,
he said headbutt them, lean forward, stamp out the knee, and then grab the arms and pull, and then like go forwards.
I'm seeing the foot, not a knee there.
Not the like he's doing for like the shin and stuff. I think. I'm not
So,
really understanding.
Why is he striking with the back of his head?
Knee here to the
I
leg here
don't
to make
know.
sure
That's what I
the
was
foot is
saying.
on.
It's a very
Move
soft
forward and
area.
then
It doesn't
smack
really.
Have you watched any movie ever?
No
How do people get knocked out? They get hit in the back of the head. Why are you gonna subject your head to that?
I mean, clearly because his head is made of immaculate pebbles that have been like shaped and sculpted.
I mean, I'd prefer him to shoot his weight out, get a wrap around for the hip, and then just try to drop if he can.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to break the grab that they have around you, but either they release it or they're gonna fall.
Kitty for you.
I don't really like telling people to strike with the back of their head.
You can say more. Oh,
I say like you like try and drop your weight, try and wrap around the back of their leg, and maybe you both fall over.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm trying to think of some different methods from there. I mean, I don't necessarily.
Going back to our first video, what they did incorrectly. You could just squat deeply, take one of the legs, and drop your weight immediately as fast as you can on a knee.
I was gonna say, could you not just like toss him over the shoulder at that point? Have you gotta?
I mean, your arms aren't free to throw anyone though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he's got your arms trapped, just squat, grab a leg, and
Hmm.
use all 600 pounds of your weight, beast, to drop them.
Okay,
That was-
asshole.
Yeah, they were talking to Beast, not Caliburn. But that was 5 self-defense moves everyone should know. What are we thinking generally on that? I feel some good things, some questionable. That as a general rule, I didn't have that much of a problem with it. Most of it seemed to work. It's two of them aren't what I would do.
Okay, so as far as Master Wong's video, I think that all of it can work. All of it has the capacity to work. I just think that there are better options out there.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that none of it was just horrible advice. I would just say it's not what I would say to do or prefer to do.
No. Okay, and from Master Wong's 5 moves everyone can do to Aikido Flow's free self-defense move you must know. Have you ever watched Aikido Flow?
Not at all.
No.
So Aikido Flow, he was, to my understanding, he was a bouncer for a long time, and he runs one of the biggest Aikido schools in England.
That's nice.
So let's have a look at this. Obviously, Aikido is not a very
So
popular
he was a
martial art,
bouncer and
but
he
this
runs an Aikido
Welcome back
school.
to Aikido
Yes.
Flow. Today we are looking
Aikido
at
is very popular with
three
bouncers.
simple
Yeah, I don't
self-defense
think this is the
moves
normal
that you
dude.
must know. So when
I
it
think
comes
this is a
to
different dude.
self-defense, we all might get into
Wait, is Aikido Flow the
ourselves or
big black guy?
Yes, it is.
our loved ones.
Okay, then I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, same actually.
Very easy issue because
You've sent some of his videos before.
protect.
Yeah.
You can't use excessive force to hurt someone too much. So you really need to know what to do and how to do it in a way that you will not end up in a trouble.
He's making a good
The
point
last
there
thing you
about
wanna
like
do is to
self-defense
hurt
laws and
someone
how
and
much you're
destroy their
allowed to
life.
do.
And like that's just really not what we should do. So when it comes to self-defense, use it in the way where you protect without too much injury to the person that is attacking. So so we're in a situation 1-to-1, which is lucky there are not more people. Something is kicking off, like there is something, you just know that something might happen. You need to make sure that you cover your distance. The last thing you want is get too close and then not see what's going to happen. So you're covering your distance, and then this is an indication that you need to act. Yeah. So you just strike to the neck very nicely, gently.
No.
Here.
No. No.
To be honest, I can't hear anything that he's saying in the video.
Yeah, same.
He literally said like, all you're doing is you just nice and gently and easily strike to the neck.
Uh-huh. How so? Rewind if you can.
Act. Yeah. So you just strike to the neck very nicely, gently.
You didn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just a very quick strike.
I thought he did Aikido, not Krav Maga.
You've got time to walk away. Make
Yeah.
sure that he doesn't choke, maybe, probably. But just you've
What?
got time to.
Okay, my question is, A, how do you think you're accurate enough to hit him in the neck? B, why are you hitting him with a choking motion rather than a hitting thing? Like, that's not going to do anything. That's such a wide area of impact. I'm not sure doing it to myself right now. It barely feels anything.
Why do these people not like their thumbs or their fingers?
Like, he's trying to get him with like the bit of like between the index and the thumb.
Yeah. Ooh, ow. Oh, yeah. No, that fucking sucks.
It wouldn't hurt.
That's that on a table leg.
Like,
don't hit someone in the throat if you're like.
I prefer like a Boshiken, actually using the thumb as a striking surface, but by using the connection webbing, so with between your thumb and your pointing finger, all you're doing is causing a needed torque on your hand to kind of pry against your thumb, which is kind of useful.
If I were gonna throat strike in that situation, which I wouldn't, I'd at least do Ippon Ken.
No, you got a Boshiken all the way.
I do not understand your fancy Japanese, but I will say, I guess a punch. I don't.
Ippon Ken is when you have your middle finger knuckle extended out, so that's what hits.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
And Bushiken is the thumb.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah.
But no, this is just absolutely terrible. Like,
so next one is a bit of a top up.
Please.
So
You see this in action films.
speaking of
and
Ippon, Ken.
you just get one of your knuckles out. Now the thing is, you can't do it this way to just kind of get it out because you're going to break your thumb. So the way it's done is that you cover this and make it solid. Yeah. So then when
So is he saying you can't do it like the film? You have to make a fist. Like, no shit, Sherlock.
I attack in the solar plexus or in the neck or maybe even in the ear,
In the ear?
Not the solar plexus.
No, the soul.
Maybe the neck.
Oh.
For the ear, I want the most amount of surface area I can have because I'm not gonna knock somebody out hitting them in the ear. I'm wanting to what did Master Holmes say?
I don't remember. I feel like
Debilitate? No.
Oh, discombobulate.
Discombobulate. That's it.
Yeah.
Discombobulate. Yeah, so you're wanting to clap the ear so that you can make it ring, disorientate them a little bit. For the solar plexus, you're wanting to aim with like a proper punch just because it's such a harder area to get to and you got the ribs and stuff there. So if your aim's off, you're going to hurt yourself if it's just that one knuckle out. And the neck, I just said Ippon Ken to the neck. I still wouldn't just do it as a normal strike. I'd do it if it was like a pinning maybe and it was like a grappling situation where they were really close and not moving much. I'm not trying to throw that as my main self-defense strike in like a punch up, you know?
Okay, so like what I said earlier, hard striking areas to soft targets, hard striking areas. No, hard striking areas to soft targets, soft striking areas to hard targets. That there, that's relatively hard. Send that somewhere that's soft. Don't be sitting here trying to hit something that's really, really forceful, because especially the way that he made the fist, your middle knuckle's extended. You're not going to be able to force it to stay extended. If it's pushed down, you know, the way that your hand works, you could actually end up causing more damage to your thumb than what's needed.
I feel like you'd be far better off trying to palm them in the nose than punch them in the throat.
That's agreed.
Yeah. I still don't see why you don't just use a regular fist at that point.
it's not.
Let's continue.
It's going to be quite hurtful for him. So there is a difference between this and this. It feels different.
You know what? I did just hit myself in the solar plexus with the Ippon Ken. It kind of hurts, but I can also kind of hurt someone more.
Yeah. So
I mean,
sticking out. So if you just punch
fair enough, I guess.
or here, that's going to be
Yeah.
comfortable for them. You can follow up by a few other things after that, but it's just
Good talk about following up afterwards. Obviously, that's something that you need to keep in mind all the time during hand call.
if the situation is like you just want to finish it off before it started, I would just do that.
I don't see what that's finishing.
Right, so next one is that we're seeing it from a punch. So he decides to just strike me in the face, bang, that's what it is. So you need to make sure that you protect. Now, when it comes to street scenarios, it will be very hard for you to be completely conscious and sort of being in full control of everything that you do. So you may end up protecting with the right hand, or you may end up protecting it with the left hand. Whatever, always is best to maybe actually just use both and see what happens there.
That the left hand, I didn't see an issue. The right hand, I don't know what the hell he did there.
I like that every time he's doing it, he's actually going to the dead side instead of trying to force his way to the live side.
Yeah, sure.
That's something nice I can say.
So what you're doing there, you're swapping the hands and striking it.
That was basically a block pass pin. I'm totally okay with that.
At the same time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't see anything deliberately wrong with it.
It could be
I'd like a brachial right there.
all those things. But the main
A
thing is that you
brachial
actually just
and a
protect
knee.
yourself and coming in. Yeah, this is really
Not what you expect from Aikido. Definitely more functional than the usual Aikido self-defense you'd find.
Is he an actual Aikido guy?
I have no idea.
really good place for
Because you said that he didn't look like the regular guy.
You would have to turn around.
Well, that's the regular guy
I've
next
got
to him,
loads
is
of
it not?
time. Yeah.
I have no clue.
Here, bang, 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 bang.
He just fucking chain blasted him.
Yeah.
You're critiquing a chunner.
As I tend to. I don't like my own kind.
And then you can do other things, right? So nice and easy. Another thing that will save your life is kick in the nuts, all right? So this is one of the most vulnerable places on a man's body. It will hurt, but it will not damage them for too long.
Depends how you kick. You can definitely damage them for too long.
Yeah.
You know what? We need to start an internet fight. Masterkin versus white man in blue shirt.
You know, as Master Wong would say, you kick him in the nuts and he's gonna have no children and his girlfriend gonna leave him.
It will not be something that they will have to go to hospital for, hopefully.
Hope.
So we hear situation is happening, you know, you feel like this is just too much whack. That's it, yeah.
I can't even imagine just like going for a nut shot. It's like the explosion.
Yeah, no, there's a general thing where like it'll be a thing of like, if you're a man, why would you ever do that to another man?
Yeah, no, like on a psychological level, I'd feel bad.
You feel that.
I wouldn't.
You might find a place.
I'm sorry. I would. I'd hit the dick if I need to. But what we need to understand though is, I'm pretty sure, Beast, you've known that hurts since you were little, right?
Yeah.
So you know if you get hit there, it's going to hurt, right?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's not going to work. I'm just saying.
No. That's not what I'm getting at all. You know this, right?
Yeah.
Luca, you know this, right?
Yeah.
Every person who's going to get hurt there knows it's going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They're already prepared for it. You cannot convince me otherwise. If they're in an altercation, that's the one thing they are ready to react to, because they're not going to let that get hit.
To be fair, I don't know. You're not necessarily always thinking about your balls while you're goddamn fighting. Like slip-ups happen, even with like professionals and shit. It's not.
That's the thing, though. You're thinking of sport fighting. Think about it. You're on the street. How often do you see, oh, I'm getting attacked. It's a self-defense video. I'm going to kick them in the balls.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair, I suppose.
You're already going to be used to it. Oh, they're going to kick me in the balls. I got to be ready for this.
Yeah, that is probably something I should think of more often than honestly. I don't know. It's probably just from like the sport competition aspect. I usually just don't think about it, but I mean, you're not wrong at all.
Beast, let me put it to you this way, buddy. With your failings with women, you're most likely going to get kicked there somewhere soon.
Right, so another thing,
Can we speed up the wedding?
you know, something is happening.
Like, can she speed that up?
Down. You just find a good spot where you can punch him in the nuts, okay?
What?
Wait, what? Another nut strike.
The one time that Moss is not here.
Find a good spot.
Yeah.
Where
The
you
one
can
time Moss is not
punch
here,
him
we
in the
literally
nuts,
just get her
okay?
martial art.
Now you can sit down on a chair and watch him suffering.
This dude's fucked up.
You know what?
I think we just found Johnny Cage.
You know what? I give this man my utmost respect. If he's willing to beat a man's testicles and then sit there and laugh at him crying on the floor because he's never having children, go for it, buddy.
My problem with that is he's actually doing. Oh my goodness, how am I gonna get this? So this is something I've taken from Goju-ryu, as well as Shorin Ryu Seibokan. Instead of actually using like a suki, a punch, to actually hit them in Kinteki, right? Mm-hmm. We do a Kinteki Uchi, which is you keep your hand very loose, almost like your eye whip strike.
Meiichi.
Because it's going to be split second just tapping them. We found out, hey, the old Okinawans have found out, instead of punching someone in the testicles, just kind of slap them lightly so your fingers wrap around and inflict the most surfaced area damage.
Yeah, the more flicking the impact, the more it's going to sting. And for something like that, what you need is to sting.
Yeah.
Like,
so like
we have
I'm not saying it's
Meiichi,
wrong. I'm just saying there's other ways to go about it.
This is the sound of a punch on the skin. This is the sound of Meiichi on the skin. You can hear the flick has way more of an impact.
Put this much thought into a ball strike?
The Okinawans. You gotta remember this, Beast. They're like 4 foot, 5 foot.
Stuff like that.
They're at the level.
Quite cool, but you know, this is really painful, and it really will take people down. So use it if you have to. Right, another thing, it's quite common to get into headlock, right? you're grappling some before you know it, you are in the headlock, right? So
That does happen, especially if you don't know how to grapple and they're used to wrestling a little bit. That's one of the easiest things to get yourself into accidentally.
Yeah.
you get
Is this
held
going to be
down,
another blind strike?
and so you've got three.
That's a very bad headlock.
Left arm bonks out, left arm bonks out, slap the balls, slap the balls.
hands, right? So
I think it's going. Yeah, yeah.
get out.
Squeeze them.
Look at the smile on his face.
This man fears no god.
Holy shit, my guy.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
Master Ken has something coming.
Get your way, right? So again, squeezing that, not the most.
Bro, the way he's like it's like fucking Thanos with the Infinity
No,
Stones.
you're misunderstanding. He's not saying that you hit them. He's saying that you squeeze them.
That's what it's like when Thanos got all the Infinity Stones and like the clench of his fist. This dude is trying to obliterate someone's nuts.
Manly thing that you want to do really is this, but you know it will save your life, so why not? Right, another thing is pinching. Again, doesn't seem like much, but if you do it in the right place, the person will let go of you.
Is he gonna
So in a
do both
situation
the
he's trying
nuts
to hold on
again?
to something, you know, and you just kind of squeeze the back of the arm in here. So I do it.
That, yep.
So
That
But no,
really hurts.
So for a lot of times, if I'm actually in getting my mount, I'll actually kind of lift their arms up to kind of trap them around their head like I'm going for an S mount. But instead of putting my knees up under their armpits or pinning the arms in, I'll actually grind my knees to grab a thin layer of skin on the bottom side of their arms, just because it's mean.
It is mean.
So yeah, I can see that. A lot of times if someone's going to actually throw like their straight line punch and I'm wanting a gun, throw my gunting, I'll throw a gunting and parry over to get an arm drag. But when I do the arm drag, instead of grabbing the cloth that they're wearing, I'll actually get a handful of the skin, because once I have a handful of that skin, they're going to go anywhere that I want them to go.
Joe makes
I'm
it
not saying they're going to release it like that. It's going to make them mad.
Like that.
I'm not saying that he's going to be able to get them to release immediately like that, but I'm saying that the idea is not horrible.
If you twist while you're grabbing it, it makes it hurt a lot more.
So it does work. So you can do it at the back of the arm in here, or you do it at the back of the thigh. Also, when you're grappling, you in a certain position, maybe you ended up on the floor, this may come handy. Yeah, this really hurts like hell.
There you go, exactly what you were saying.
He oil checks for fun.
He oil checks with a fucking sledgehammer.
It leaves massive bruise as well. So, you know, hopefully this will be useful. So when it comes to street self-defense, it has to be simple, it has to be quick, and it has to work. These three things that you've seen just in this video are just that.
You know what? I don't like his throat strikes, but everything else, go off, buddy.
You know what? I think that he's the kind of guy who will tickle you on the throat just so he can throw the test the tickler.
I feel like this dude has one of those fucking human like punching bag type deals with one of those fucking like boob mouse pads for the fucking ball strikes. But that is his warm up every fucking day. 365 days a year.
I don't know what to say about that. Like, Jesus.
Well, at least you know who to not start a fight with, I suppose.
Yeah, true.
And I'm just gonna fucking pimp smack your goddamn testes.
And now, are you guys familiar with Lily Singh?
No.
So
Isn't that the Superwoman?
Yeah, that's Superwoman. She used to be a big YouTuber. She's now the host of a late night show, and she did a video in collaboration with some people that Logan's a fan of, self-defense tactics that every woman should know.
Today, I I'm being trained
I feel
on
like this is going to get weird.
I'm Eve Torres-Gracie, co-creator of the Women Empowered program.
You can go kill yourself.
Based on the principles of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
I am excited. I am nervous. I have no idea what to expect. I've never been trained in this way before.
I'm also a 3-time Divas champion in the WWE.
I didn't know that.
What I've gotten was when I used to be a brownie. They taught us basic self-defense, but I think it was just like this. I'm gonna show you. Ready? That is my training thus far.
If that's what girls are being taught as self-defense, like, I feel really bad for them.
I was going to say, she's not wrong. Like, I had a teacher who went to a self-defense seminar not that long ago. Like, it was kind of, I don't think it was a requirement, but most of the female teachers at my high school went, and like they learned basically that. Of course, this was a couple of years back, I suppose.
We're like the same. This is crazy.
Lily already has the confidence of a boss. What I'm here today to do is to teach her a little self-defense to back that confidence up.
I can kick pretty high. Like, I feel like I could kick.
You know what? Actually, confidence is a big thing just in terms of the way you hold yourself will make you look like more or less of a target.
That's fair.
Like, probably that mic if I really lower the mic a little bit. Lower the mic. Lower the mic a little bit. Okay, cool. I feel like I could kick that mic.
Wow,
That's pretty good, right?
That was actually really good. See, So today I'm going to walk Lily through some self-defense scenarios. And first we're going to get a gauge on where she's at and what she might naturally do in those scenarios. And then we're going to go over some techniques and strategies to defend ourselves against them.
That actually makes sense. Like, everyone has natural responses, and the thing about a martial art is it should make you use your natural responses to defend yourself.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
Did Lo leave because I put the Gracies on?
I think he left. I don't think he's in call anymore. It's actually, no, there's 3 participants I can see,
He's
but
just
I just,
mute.
yeah, I don't.
You.
Okay.
You put the devil on here.
You're gonna respond to the devil.
Recognize these mats from gym.
To be fair, you gotta talk because I don't know really shit about ground grappling, so you know that's all you, buddy.
Not you.
I mean, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, first scenario we want to talk about, it's one that every woman at some point in their life encounters. Someone's approaching them, making them feel uncomfortable. They get that gut feeling like something ain't right.
My gut reaction, I'm not proud of it, but without me thinking, my hands will automatically pull up my phone.
But
I
no,
100% believe Instagram will save me.
And that's actually what a lot of people feel. So many women from a very young age were taught to prioritize other people's feelings over their own sense of comfort and safety.
Yes.
We don't want to offend somebody. We don't want to make them feel bad. And
we don't want to trend on Twitter. Women are crazy.
The best safety tools that we can have is keeping distance from somebody. So we can even start with something simple and almost like assertively polite.
Start like Canadian polite. Canadian assertively polite.
Sorry, sir. Please. No, let's
back up, eh?
That's right. That's right. So stop right there.
Stop right there, eh?
Right? And if they come any closer, that's when we escalate. I said stop, eh? Being a boss.
You know what? That actually also makes sense. Just to, like,
Yeah.
if you think
Oscar.
someone's coming into you, like, to act aggressive, if you establish a boundary, then you can gauge their reaction and see how much danger you're in. Obviously, have some sense with it. Don't scream at everyone who's near you in a 50-foot radius, but most people underestimate
When the
that they have
homeless man-
good.
When the homeless man that I pass on the street comes up to me, sorry, sir, can I borrow $1? I'm just gonna start screaming at him. I'm gonna start screaming at him. Back up, eh? Hey, back up!
I mean, to be fair, if you want to like look good, you know, in terms of like the law and everything, especially there's like some security cameras around, that's definitely a good way to do it.
But like,
Plus,
Another thing they're not really talking about is as soon as you make a scene like that, everyone around you, they may not want to help you, but they're most likely going to record because they think, oh, this could be good.
oh yeah, people are staring at that point. But like the point is, like, we evolved from people that were around dangerous animals and stuff. People underestimate how much they can actually tell when something's up.
yeah, I was gonna say those instincts might be suppressed, but like if martial arts has shown anything, they're not dead. You still have that in you.
Point they do get a hold of your wrist. So from here, what kind of things might you think about doing if somebody were to grab?
My instinct would to say do this,
Yeah,
but then you kept going. Oh no!
Exactly. Grab my wrist.
Are you surprised that you can keep walking if you throw a kick at someone?
I mean, most people
My base
Okay.
first.
don't probably think
I come in and
like that.
I'm out.
That feels overly complicated to get out of a wrist.
Rewind it.
So you're
Okay,
trying
you're
to
much
pull me,
stronger than me.
right?
Okay.
I come in and
Yeah, I mean that's not horrible, but again, if they've got two hands on you, you've got a separate hand. They don't have either hand to block. Punch them in the face. Either they block it or they get hit.
I'm
Or
not a
kick him in
fan.
the stomach.
I'm not a fan of anything in terms of wrist escape that has you trying to pull back. I prefer it when it has you trying to leverage and get an attack in rather than you try and like out strength them, because even if you establish your base and put your hand in, there's a very big chance that your two hands aren't as strong as their two hands and they'll just pull you. Grab your other hand, now they got more of a grip on you.
Yeah. I was honestly thinking, I mean, just from that position, maybe if, you know how to do it, that is. Or I guess even if you don't necessarily, just a kick to the stomach at that point, just trying to, back off.
I don't agree with that at all. Trying to kick like that is like you're asking for some trouble. Like she literally tried to kick and got pulled just like 2 seconds ago.
I mean, like, kind of like a side kick to the stomach at that point if they just have you there, especially if you're trying to pull them forward and do it.
I'm out. It
I
was
feel
pretty
like that's a
fast,
magic
right?
trick where your hand's gonna end up in my pocket and you're gonna be like,
It feels like magic.
what just happened? I don't
That was
understand
so
how that
simple.
happened.
Right, so let's break it down. So from here, make a fist with
Okay.
your hand.
Yeah.
You establish your
And
base.
then I'm gonna
You
go
grab,
like
and now
this.
this elbow.
No, that bit I definitely disagree with. You don't want to clench up a fist. You want to have your hand open when you're trying to wrist escape.
Fair enough. They are kind of making a easier
I see their
grapple
reasoning for
point.
clenching the fist. They're making their arm rigid. I can see their reasoning behind it.
You can make your
But
hand
again,
rigid
if
with
they
an
have
open
two on
palm.
one, if they have 2-on-1, two hands on your one, that means that their hands are currently being used. Punch them in the face. They will eventually
Yeah.
let go.
Yeah. The reason I say have your hand open, not make a fist, when you make a fist, things are smaller. It's easier to keep grip. When you have your hand open, things expand in your arm, and it's harder to keep your arm around.
I mean, you could also create that tension and then just let it, slack pretty much in the same instance. I mean, that might throw them off as well.
I mean, there's a lot of ways to escape it, basically.
Yeah.
I just don't like specifying to have your hand closed.
Oh, you want to come? Yes, beautiful.
I do like that motion. We use that
Your-
for
yes, exactly.
Yurinuki, one of our white belt escapes, is the elbowing forward motion like that.
I feel like I kind of nailed it. Am I a professional ninja?
Can my heck yeah, you could choke somebody with that thing.
That's what I thought,
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna lie, when I pee, right, I have to do this so my hair doesn't go in
Yeah.
the toilet, so I know it'll
You
go around
could
somewhere.
actually choke somebody with your
For
hair.
real?
Yeah. What if now we have to?
What the fuck? You know what? Hair lint. What's it like a? What is the thing like Hitman uses? Garroting wire.
Garrote
Garrote.
wire. Yeah.
Garrote, yeah.
Set a boundary with somebody, and now we have to not only have the kind of verbal tools, but we may also need to use physical tools. If you grab a hold of my hips here, so you're here. What I'm gonna do is that's it. Yeah. I didn't do that. Let me. So if I'm here, so if I come in here, the frame comes across
So I
my
go
neck
like this.
here.
Something I always kind of forget.
What?
Like, I mean, just it's kind of not super related, but like whenever you're just trying to like show somebody who doesn't have any like real experience, it's just kind of sweet sometimes seeing like, the shocks and the surprise and all that.
That's how I'm going to feel teaching you how to grapple.
I mean, probably, yeah.
That's how we're gonna feel teaching him how to actually throw a punch.
That's how
I've
we're
already
going to
experienced that.
after I throw you through a third-story window.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
And now popping, pop it out. Pop it. Yes, yes. Now straighten this front arm at
like
the same
this.
time. Straighten it.
Oh,
while
like-
moving
oh,
your-
like that?
Yes, while moving your hips back. Yes.
I mean, that's pretty just easy use of leverage. Not much saying in that.
Yeah. But you got to remember, the Gracies invented leverage. They invented that.
First,
Yes.
I've
Oh,
never felt
God.
cooler in my entire life.
Okay, let's go to the ground stuff.
We don't want to figure this out in the moment.
Well, this is getting interesting.
Here we go.
Fuck off.
Google everything.
I didn't know you invited your film club.
Beast, get a girlfriend. Jesus Christ, you need help.
Are now trapping my arms. Pin your elbows down.
Did they just say trapping?
We had a guy who trained at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, but claimed that there was no sort of trapping in Jiu-Jitsu.
Nothing does trapping.
Down together and hold it tight. Don't let my arm leave your head. Yes. Bridge your hips up and roll me off this way.
You think I'm gonna be able to do
yes,
that?
you will.
For real?
I'm doing this.
Okay, and I roll you that way?
Yep.
You think I'm gonna do this? Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Bridge. Yes. That's
Okay. Sure, for the untrained. If they're trained, you kind of need to trap that leg, because if you don't, you're giving them a post they can use to keep from going over. Then they're going to break their grip, and then they're going to make your head look like a pancake on the pavement.
I was gonna say they didn't do much about
But I can't
the
get too
overall.
mad. I mean, it is Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. You can't expect anything good.
God damn. Okay, we're gonna get absolutely a shit
Yeah,
ton of hate.
I'm gonna let you battle the comment section.
We're on top of the fight. Now it's time
Been catfished again. It's not the first time this has happened.
Ooh,
to practice elbow.
a sex doll.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
We're both as bad as each other. I hate you.
Great minds do think alike.
Okay, ready?
Yep. Boom. That's it. Yes.
I mean,
Wow, throwing elbows works, but the way she's teaching to throw the elbow, instead of dropping her weight, she's leaning forward, which in turn is making it easier for her to get thrown off.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they've got one arm pinned, but there's still another arm to. I think the whole thing is it's one of those things of like it should be fast enough that they shouldn't be able to react, you know.
Tomorrow.
Here.
We go.
Down in the hair. Trap the foot. Roll them. Yes. Boom. Yes. Boom.
You know, that's not doing anything. You wanna fall just into that elbow.
Fair enough. You could also do the just straight down elbow instead of coming in from the side.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, the way I'm just more or less visualizing it, I mean, at that point, I just, instead of just leaning forward and back and forth like she's doing, I just fall right into it. Just keep it, going from there.
And now they're actually gonna. This is something that actually is kind of interesting that they did. Is they told her that they made her think that they were gonna do a scenario where she's gonna get attacked by Eve, and it wasn't. And I think like that's actually training element of surprise for the self-defense.
We're gonna go through a
All
really
right.
common life scenario.
Okay.
Okay. You're gonna start in your car, and you're gonna try to walk to the store.
Okay.
Sounds simple, right? Park your car.
Yeah.
Get to the store. Let's see what happens.
Why am I nervous all over again? We got this. We got this. Okay. We'll make this as real as possible.
Hey, excuse me. Can I talk to you for a sec? Come with me.
Hey, stay
No,
back.
come with me.
Stay back, eh? I also just never knew this person was on set. So this is a complete You're not Billy the COVID compliance officer.
Back up. Arm out. Yes. Trap his arm. Trap his leg. Turn it hips up.
I was gonna say it'd be funny after all of this if she just pulled a Glock.
They're in Canada. She can't do that.
Just stay back.
But overall, what do we think of Lily staying in the Gracies doing self-defense?
Logan might hate me after saying this, but I don't think it was honestly all that awful.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect anything terrible in terms of like they are one of the biggest self-defense
You
things.
can't expect anything terrible if they steal all the good stuff.
And that's another Twitter war, or I guess comment section war.
We're gonna die.
No, we're not.
Hey,
The
what do they say?
community. Okay, the BJJ community hates the Gracies. It's gotten where they even hate the Gracies.
I mean, what is it? Kieran, you're in like film or whatever. Any publicity is good publicity, right?
Very true. I don't.
Well, let's just make Logan have an aneurysm. Let's do some Kali Center.
I was gonna watch Sensei Ando.
That sounds familiar. I don't think I've seen any of his stuff.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do Kali Center. No, I'm not doing Kali Center. We're gonna do stuff that's actually meant to be good.
Yeah, but we're critiquing.
I'm gonna watch it. We're gonna do this. So this is Sensei Ando. He has done a bit of Aikido, Taekwondo, Kung Fu, a few other things.
This is the guy who's done videos with the Swedish meatball.
I think, yeah, he has done videos with your favorite person other than the Graysons. So this is a video about knife defense. So let's see what they say about that.
And a lot of people focus on knife defense when the knife is out, or most of the videos look like this. So come at me. Right. All right, and then it's like, all right, come at me really fast. Okay, what I hate about this stuff is that it gives a false belief to people, and it's gonna get them killed. Well, anytime you have this type of training, and when you see a video like this, you gotta tell yourself this is not real, because shit doesn't happen like that. Number one, if somebody's gonna attack you with a knife, what does he have to do? He has to come into your range. Chances are the knife is gonna be concealed here, 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 either rolled in a paper, could be in a bag.
Rolled in a paper?
That's some prison shit.
Yeah, they'll take a newspaper and they'll roll a knife up in it so it looks like a guy's just walking with a newspaper, and they'll stab you with the newspaper. The knife goes in.
If I see someone walking around with a rolled up newspaper, I feel like that's suspicious in and of itself. Who the fuck uses newspapers anymore other than like on the bus?
Like I said,
the
that's
train?
some prison shit.
Like, do you not have BuzzFeed on your fucking phone?
No.
Some old guys use newspaper still. I actually use it to cook. Well, not to cook, but you know.
He just sliced him with the knife backwards.
Guy's not gonna sit there for a minute and do a sparring drill with a knife. He's gonna spend maybe 4-10 seconds and he's out. So your reaction time has to be super fast. Now, what a lot of people are missing, in order to defend yourself against a knife, first of all, it's all about being proactive. It's being able to be aware to see, okay, I see the guy approaching and he's talking to me here and I can't see his hands. I could only assume he has a knife. Now,
I will say, this is definitely something that I honestly am kind of surprised is even being talked about. He is right in the sense that a lot of people talk about once you get into that situation, but not any of the fucking possible signs before that.
I mean, that's all about like the psychology is as much as the self-defense is the techniques once the psychology fails.
Yeah.
I don't know you. You're in my space. You're moving around. As I'm just concealed, and I see this, my hands are gonna come up. One hand's gonna
get out of my safety bubble.
Jam that knife. Now it's not gonna be a perfect trap. I'm not literally fixing to grab it. If I do, great. If not, I'm still gonna try to pin it. Right. Now, the reality.
What do you think of that, Lo, as our knife guy?
I'll be honest, I looked away for a second, so I didn't see any of it.
Oh, you son of a...
If I do great, if not, I'm still.
That.
Pinning it to the body's not too bad.
Yeah.
I like how he's shooting his body on the opposite side of it, so that's decent.
I like the fact that his whole thing is something that we were talking about in our guard video with we were talking about weapons, is that the best thing you can do is try and stop it before it's coming at you rather than try and block it as it comes in.
Yeah.
I would say we've done choreography for this, actually. Funny enough.
Is that every time I make a move, he makes a move. There's action, reaction.
I will say, though, if you have reasonable suspicion, goddamn, that word's escaping me today.
Suspicion.
Yes, that they do have
English.
You're in university. You should be able to say the word suspicion.
Fuck off. But yeah, no, like
But
if you have
suspicion,
reasonable
yes.
suspicion that they have a knife, why not just try and, hit the most obvious self-defense part and just, get the fuck up out of there.
Because if someone is that close to you with a knife and you turn and run, you're getting a knife in your back.
Yeah, I guess if they're just
I get like look
You know
how
one thing.
there's like
one thing I wish that people would talk about more with knives.
what
They want to do all these fancy disarms. No one wants to talk about impact disarming. They want to talk about actually trying to manipulate them.
As in, like, just striking the arm until they let go.
So, like, a lot of times when we knife spar or stick spar, you can actually hit the forearm, and human reaction is to let go of whatever you're holding. So that's one thing we'll start doing is your first strike, hit the hand. If they go to strike at you, as soon as they go to strike at you, you actually hit the forearm to see if they'll let go. And if they don't, then you can fight for a disarm. But no one on YouTube seems to be talking about impact disarming. It's always just, you got to manipulate their arms so you can pry it out of their hands.
Sensei Seth kind of did a video about that when he was talking about the movie trope of kicking a knife out of someone's hand, and he let a Muay Thai competitor, I think she was a Muay Thai competitor, like kick him straight in the arm, and it hurt so bad that he let go of the knife.
Yeah.
It look like 1, 2, 3. No, once I trap the knife, he's gonna start pulling. So start giving me resistance. He's gonna come here. He's gonna try to cut. I'm gonna come right over here. The knife just switched hands, right? If I'm here, what would I do? Sorry, you okay?
You see how he's just holding onto the blade, and he just had to figure the knife back up.
Yeah. Because it's the surprise. He didn't know what was coming the same way you wouldn't know what was coming. He just got dragged, and his immediate response wasn't like keep this knife. His immediate response was don't fall over.
But he's not wearing drag.
Not what I meant.
We're gonna get canceled one of these days.
I think we have been.
I try to trap. If he continued going, keep going. So he's serious trying to pull me down. Maybe I'll try to grab. He's coming around. I won't let him get that knife. Again, I'd be striking, but look.
This is something. This goes into a wider thing that a lot of people don't understand, is that it's not about the technique, it's about having trained to flow with movement. That is like the most key thing for a situation like this, is being able to move when they move.
Well, it's really just about being compliant and held accountable. You don't need to sit there and actually train with someone who's just going to be compliant every single time. It's the biggest thing that we stress when knife training or stick training. If you're doing a drill on someone to disarm a knife and they're letting you get it every single time, sure, you may get the basic form for it, but you're not going to be able to actually apply it. So eventually you actually get where they are not being compliant in any shape, form, or fashion. You've got to take the knife from them while they are trying to kill you with the knife. And they have to be able to hold you accountable. So any mistake they take advantage of, they're going to stab you with, be it a wooden knife, an aluminum knife, a steel knife,
taser knife,
etc.
Look, I'm pinning the knife. Now here's the thing. People tell me against a knife, you should run. Yes, but I need to be this many feet in an open area. Now I did this.
Let's go into what you were saying, Beast.
Where I get a lot of comments, people telling me, you're an idiot, you're gonna get people killed. Sorry about that. Yeah. And I get this comment, and what I did, and I tested it out full out. where we had one guy, the attacker here, I was here, the door was there. By the time I ran to the door, I got stabbed. So the idea that you're going to run is not always possible. Your environment is going to play a big role with what you can do. If I'm in an elevator, start attacking like this, I can't parry in an elevator. I need to trap because I'm in a confined space. If I'm here and I could do this, then yes, I can run. If he's grabbed me and he's here, now he's grabbed me here. I don't know, I said, great example, I said to grab me, some people do this, some people grab here. He went for here, which is even more dangerous because he's controlling the neck.
That is a form of control that just no one really thinks about most of the time.
Yeah.
What happens is it becomes hard. So he starts pumping, so I gotta trap as quickly as possible. So running is not always an option. So what are the best options to get knife defense? Number one, awareness. I have the distance, I see him with a knife, here, I'm out. Two, an improvised weapon. I'm in the restaurant, a bar. There's weapons everywhere. I'll throw the glass, throw the plate, pick up the
At least you pull up.
and get out. If I'm in open space, I can attack, I could parry and use my legs and try to move.
Do you want to expand a bit on Alicia Polat and what that means?
Most of the time it just means a small stick, but we kind of use it synonymously with applying whatever you can get your hands on. So if it's used for a small stick, you can also use a closed knife for the same thing. Or what we do a lot of times is, hey, you're in a parking lot. What do you see on the ground in a parking lot? Oh, you have a phone? Use the phone. Throw the phone out. Throw the phone away. You're not going to give someone your phone. If you're going to die anyways, try to use your phone to at least lengthen your life. If you see a brick, use a brick because you can cave someone's head in with a brick. If you see a rock, use a rock. If you see a bottle, use a bottle. It's the same thing he's talking about.
My favorite quote I've heard from anyone in terms of martial arts is, if you need to defend yourself, what you need is a good pen in your pocket. Not a fucking Kubaton, because there's nothing to grip there and it's gonna hurt you.
You need to stop quoting Ains.
That's not who I was talking about.
No, that's like he legitimately just kept a pencil, and he used the pencil, the same one.
I thought he used a giant pink.
No, not on there, not on air.
Something that's used from adult stores to beat a criminal.
Confined space, I don't have a choice but to trap a knife, to trap it. Once I trap it, I either pin it to my body or his body, depending on where he moves, and I gotta strike as quickly as possible. If he grabs me here, this is a pump and grab, as I call it. This is very dangerous because what happens a lot of times, people forget about the arm and they focus here. But unless I move the arm, I'm gonna keep getting stabbed.
That actually works well because what you're doing is you're readjusting their body, so the angles they have to work, they can't generate the power that would be needed to actually kill you. And then when they have to readjust their angle, there's enough movement there for you to off balance or.
So there's no black and white, there's no foolproof system. And again, the basic to all this is when you're faced with an attacker, is you're looking at his hands. So if conceal the weapon, I'll open my eyes. So if I'm here and I'm talking to him and I see this, I'm ready to move in and make sure I trap the knife as quickly as possible, right? If he's got the knife here and I'm talking to him, my hand's gonna come a little bit low to come in and jam it and strike at the same time. So this, really focus on that. So my best tip to you is when you're faced with an attacker, the first thing you do is I'm talking to him, my hands come up. When I used to be a doorman, I used to talk to people like this. I was always like this, here, here, here. My hands were all...
Isn't one of those your favorite position to guard low?
Which?
What did he just do?
Like
Not this one.
Like this, here.
That one.
Yeah.
Here.
I fight from there a lot of times.
My hands were always up.
I don't like the ones where it's like folded under the arm or anything.
I was ready to strike and go preemptive.
You can actually trap their arm if they keep it below their elbow.
Like what you're gonna
just pin it to their body.
Wow, a lot of truth bombs in there, a lot of stuff for people to think about. especially when the knife comes out in training. Emotions seem to run a little bit higher, and your sense of mortality is really right there the whole time. So even if knife is not your thing, in a world like the one we live in, I think it's really valuable that everyone finds a little bit of time in their training to bring out a knife and even just to put it down and look at it and think about it for a second. And then to have someone actually standing across from you with that knife, even if we're just moving around a little bit and just talking in theory, you can just feel if you have your emotions are starting to change. That tells you something. You really need to take another look at this weapon and make peace with it. And once you make peace with it, hopefully then you can actually take control of it.
That's a good point. I remember the first time that we used training knives in class. Sensei brought that out, and he gave me the metal one because we have a bunch of wood ones and we had a metal one. And then there was like the first time we were literally trying to hit each other with a metal knife, and even though it was blunted, I was like, this is a weird feeling for like having never done this before.
Well, like there's the fear that's kind of ingrained in people of knives hurt, and you can either face that fear or you can run from that fear. You run from that fear, the knife's going to kill you. You face the fear, you get a 50-50 chance. A lot of times, if you were training something empty-handed that you're comfortable with, the way you get better at it is actually to put a knife in the other guy's hand. Yeah. What I mean by this is a lot of times we talk about creating the vacuum. So when you go to throw somebody or you go to move out of the way, you actually move your center line out of the way, and you're wanting to be out of their range. You can equate to that because you do Wing Chun, right? Mm. A lot of times our younger guys or guys who just recently started training with us, they can't wrap their heads around this when we're throwing a punch. They just don't want to move enough. They tend to kind of correct their thinking on this as soon as I put a knife in my hand, because even though it can be a training knife, they don't want to be near it. So we'll do it a couple times with the knife, and then they get used to it enough where they can do it empty-handed.
And that's the good thing with something like Eskrima or Kempo or Wing Chun, where all of your arm movements can pretty much be translated into holding a weapon. Like with Kempo, all of our movements can be translated to Noi, the Kali sticks, and Wing Chun, obviously the butterfly knives, Kali knives, machetes, sticks, whatever you're doing, man. Like the point is, like, you can, all these extra elements are already what you're doing, but there's a new layer to it, and there's extra fear, there's extra, like, even just while you're training, getting hit with a training weapon hurts more than getting hit with a fist. Getting hit with a stick hurts more than getting punched.
Yeah, it's just common sense. There's a reason they're called force multipliers.
Mm. Mm. Okay, and guys, we have one more video to react to. We've just done some, I see some pretty good weapons defense. This is something, I've never seen this before, but apparently this is like some of the best self-defense you can find out there. A lot of people say it's fairly undisputed. We had a bit of a discussion about it with our guests in the tier lists. This is Amaradote. Apparently it's the world's best weapons defense. So let's see what they have to offer. I mean, talk about destroying someone's testicles. That was fairly effective, clearly. Well, what do you guys have to say about that?
I really want the rifle, to be honest.
Yeah,
he caved the guy's face in before putting a 7.62 into the guy's testicles. I don't see anything wrong with that. The disarm was on point. His application was on point. You see that he's actually clasping the top of the gun. He's keeping his DNA from getting into too much of it. So cleaning is going to be a lot easier on him.
He's pulling his body off of the line of the bullets to come out as well. Like if the guy were to fire, he's away from the impact point.
Oh yeah, he's doing amazing. Good job so far.
I mean, that's a fairly common Bujinkan technique.
I've got to be honest. I cannot see how he makes this work. Of course, he's been training a lot longer than I am. I'm gonna have to kind of research this a little bit more. But of course, switching spots, putting a gun up to someone's head, that's going to be a lot safer for you than having the gun put up against your own head.
I feel
I
like there's probably
really-
some
I
sort of
really admire his
psychological trick
mustache.
going on.
I really admire his mustache.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a
I'm
strong
gonna
mustache.
train my flash step a little bit better than that because he's clearly mastered the art.
Distract the opponent, obviously. Create a.
We just talked about the mental aspect of self-defense. Of course, if you go to pull a gun on someone and they immediately sketch a picture of you that's very, very lifelike, of course you're going to kind of be thrown off by it.
Because the police are going to know exactly what to look for if you do commit this crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's phenomenal.
And then the speed as well. That's pretty high level sketching ability. I know Lo, your partner is quite invested in art. I'm sure they'd be impressed with how fast that was made.
I'm impressed. I can thoroughly say that I'm impressed.
Cowboy hats as well.
Yeah. I think Jackie Chan would definitely approve of that last one.
You know, he won fair and square. So by law, he's required to be given whatever he won. So I can't really see anything that's wrong with that. His hand was the last hand that was placed. Therefore, it defaults to being in his possession. So if someone's swinging a stick at you and you are able to win the game, once you have the game won, you take the stick and you cave their face in. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I like the way he quoted it as well. That's like it seemed to be just like
It's almost like a
just
Kosuke.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I can say that I do not like.
The way the guy was holding the gun?
Yes, the slide's going to give him a lot of slide bite. But his finger has actually prevented the trigger from being pulled, so he is theoretically safe in this position.
That's why you should always train your strength of putting fingers into small spaces to.
Beast wouldn't know anything about that. Let's continue.
I have trained 1,000 years of death. How have you now?
Disarming ability.
Oh, nice.
Perfect
He used
form.
he blocked it upwards. That's seen in a lot of katas, you know, the opening to Heian Nidan, I think.
This guy's impeccable. His disarming ability is phenomenal. There is a reason that he has that many stripes on his belt.
And of course, collecting the weapons because you can never be prepared enough.
He's going to war with Texas.
This is what karate belts were invented for, to hold firearms.
America, land of the free. That disarm getting offline, amazing.
Striking them with their own weapon. Oh,
and then he
lovely.
threw him.
Yeah.
Once he was sure that he had every single weapon that he needed from this man, he threw him to the floor. Now he can stomp on him. Now he can shoot him, or he can leave him to just suffer in his own guilt.
I mean, why would you bother wasting a bullet? The man's going to die of losing all of his precious guns. Never lose all your guns, people. It's not, it will break your heart.
The man's an 11th degree black belt. Impeccable. Gets offline, armbars the guy with a shotgun.
And Sistema would be jealous of that ground rolling with the firearm.
Yeah.
That's, you know, I used to hate on BJJ for guard pulling, but this guy, I believe he'd be able to make it work.
I mean, pulling guard with a shotgun would probably work. That is some impeccable body armor.
I have not been able to find any body armor due to COVID and everything else going on. I'm gonna have to get some links from these guys. Of course, if someone's wearing body armor, you just stab where there's not any armor.
Yeah.
Why has this not been done?
People need to just, it's not that hard to find the part where things are going to hurt the most.
That's amazing. And now he's in a gay bar.
Yeah.
This is actually how we found out about him, because Beast was in this same bar that night. Masterful the way they handle wood between their fingers. Just like you always need to make sure if someone's not moving when there's music on, there's probably something suspicious about them. So cracking their skull is probably the way to go about it.
Of course.
The element of surprise never fails.
How to disarm someone who has a gun if you have a knife. Let's see. You make them think that there's something on their shirt and you slit their throat. This guy's a genius.
And notice the way he has his arm fully extended out just to make sure he really got the flick on that slice.
Look at the flick of that wrist.
And he has a good hikite. His arm is pulled in properly to his side as he strikes out.
This guy's... I can't say anything bad about this guy. And then he kicks him in the balls.
Always kick him in the balls. As we were saying earlier, go off, my guy. If you can hit the bulls, hit the bulls.
He's making it work.
Well, that's one way to stop them from killing themselves.
You disarm them and you put the gun to your own head because psychological warfare.
I mean, what a hero. He just saved this man who was trying to mug him poorly from shooting himself in the head.
This is amazing. Just move out of the way.
Limbo.
Yep.
That footwork is phenomenal. Boxers would be jealous.
That was such a masterful pirouette.
Somewhere, somehow, Floyd Mayweather is jealous.
That just reminds me of lion style kung fu, llama pie.
This is amazing. Using your mouth to defend, so you have both of your hands free.
People say One Piece isn't real, but I feel we found the sword master.
Suntory lives.
This man. There's a reason. There's a reason karate. People say karate doesn't work. And this man is the reason that people say that. He proves that Amaradote is the only real karate.
Amaradote is beyond anything that anyone could have asked for. But it's
Amaradote
what we should have
is the
wanted.
true religion.
There's nothing bad we can say about this man. All right, that should be about it, shouldn't it?
Oh. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for coming with us on this journey of realizing that Amaradote is all we need, and punching people in the balls is always effective. If you guys have any self-defense that you want us to react to, anything else you want us to discuss and talk about, leave it in the comments below. Check out our other videos. We've been uploading shorter podcast episodes as well as short little training and mentality videos. We're trying to put together a bit more of a schedule to get you guys some more regular content. So let us know what you think of it. Any closing thoughts on self-defense, guys?
I think honestly, the only thing that anyone really needs for self-defense is Amaradote. I'm really happy to know that Aikido is taking notes from Amaradote by striking the testicles. I may have to give my black belt, because I've heard that Amaradote is doing a special where you give them your black belt and they will give you a free Amaradote white belt. And it's just too much of a It's too much of a deal. I can't pass it up.
I mean, an Ameridote white belt compared to a karate black belt is like a BJJ black belt compared to a judo white belt.
I can't believe I've wasted these many years.
What about you, Beast? Any closing thoughts?
As I said earlier, Ameridote is the true religion.
Kumbaya, my ninjas. And that'll be it from us, guys. Till next time, keep training. Os.
お寿司まず。